friends, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Alyssa, and today we are talking about vegan egg replacements. A lot of us love baking, and for those of you who don't eat eggs, are allergic to eggs, or just choose to be vegan, I hope that this video will be really helpful and give you some ideas on how you can take a traditional baked good and swap out the eggs. So I'm bringing you today's video in partnership with my awesome friends at Bob's Red Mill, and I chose to bring them into today's video and talk about egg replacements because they have a ton of products that are perfect for replacing eggs. So everything that I mention in today's video will be linked in the description box below. I have also included a detailed blog post that talks even more about vegan egg replacements and give you some specific recipe ideas for things to try with the different egg replacements that we're talking about. So I thought today's video would be fun to just kind of be a casual chat. I'm going to give you some of my best tips for replacing eggs. I'm going to give you my favorite options for replacing eggs, and I'm also going to hopefully give you some ideas that you might not have thought about. So before we dive into the exact egg replacements, I want to just give you some general tips for replacing eggs in recipes. I have found personally that the best method for replacing eggs is to not replace more than 2 eggs at a time. And I know that a lot of recipes out there end up using like 4 to 5 eggs. And unfortunately, at least for my personal baking, I have not found that you can replace more than 2 eggs successfully at a time. So when you're making a recipe that is calling for more than 2 eggs, oftentimes the eggs are doing more than just binding. So a lot of times the eggs, if you're using just like 1 to 2 eggs, they're helping to just bind the ingredients together and they're helping it kind of keep together and not be crumbly. If you have more than 2 eggs in a recipe, a lot of times that recipe is also relying on the eggs to help provide structure to the baked good. So think about bread or maybe a spongy cake. That kind of recipe, the eggs are helping to provide lift and they're helping to give that really kind of airy, spongy texture. And unfortunately with egg replacements, there just isn't that same type of protein structure that the eggs have that will do that lift. So my general rule of thumb is that you can replace 2 eggs at a time in a recipe, sometimes 3, without it being too gummy or too dense. And you'll see in the blog post, if you hop on over to the blog, that I've outlined the specific types of recipes that I like to do. But a lot of times I have found success with things like muffins, pancakes. Oftentimes you could do waffles, you can definitely do cookies. But where you might run into trouble is things like cakes, cupcakes, sometimes donuts, except we do have some vegan donuts here on the channel, so you can check those out if you're interested. And definitely breads can be tricky as well. So I would recommend that you kind of start with the more simple recipes, things like cookies and muffins, and then you can start to play around from there. And again, just start with 2 and then see how you go. You can try 3, but oftentimes I do find that the baked good will be too gummy and it won't bake through all the way. So now we've gotten the general tips out of the way, let's talk about the specific egg replacements that I love. If you guys watch any of my videos and you've seen me use egg replacements in my videos, you know that my favorite egg replacer of all time is flaxseed meal and water. And I often refer to them as flax eggs in my recipes. So to make a flaxseed egg, all you need is 1 tablespoon of flaxseed meal and 3 tablespoons of water. You just add the flaxseed meal into a little bowl, top it with some warm water, whisk it together, and then you can just let it sit for 3 to 5 minutes, and you will see that that mixture will gel together and it will form this really kind of sticky, gooey, egg-like texture. Flaxseed eggs, like I said, are great. I use them in pancakes, waffles, I use them in cookies, muffins, all of the above. And if you want even more specific recipes, make sure to head on over to the blog post. In addition to flaxseed meal, another great egg replacer is chia eggs. And you can either use whole chia seeds or you can grind up the chia seeds in something like a food processor, a blender, or a little spice grinder. And you can do the same proportion that you do with the flax eggs. So we would do 1 tablespoon of chia seeds or the chia seed meal and 3 tablespoons of water. And you're just going to add them into a bowl together, whisk them together, and again, this mixture is going to come really jelly and it will turn into your egg replacer. So both the flaxseed meal and the chia you can find from Bob's Red Mill. I've linked those products in the description box below. They're organic, they're high quality, and I always keep them on hand. So those are probably the two most common kind of everyday vegan egg replacers. Another egg replacer is actually the vegan egg replacer that Bob's Red Mill makes. I used this product last year when I shared the vegan gingerbread loaf, and I have been really happy with the results. You can do the same thing. You follow the directions on the package, you mix it together with some water, and you can use it as your egg replacer, just like you would with chia or flax. This one I find has a little bit of a lighter texture, so you don't have to worry about it being quite as dense and gooey, and it works really well in pretty much all of the recipes that I've tried. Again, you're gonna have a little bit of hard time with things like potentially quick breads and also cakes, but everything else that I mentioned, it works fabulously. So I've linked that one in the description box below as well. I definitely recommend that you guys check it out. It's my favorite vegan egg replacer that is on the market. I've tried others and I definitely like theirs the most. So if you're looking for one that you can just kind of grab and go and you can use in all sorts of recipes, I definitely recommend you check it out. So now let's talk about some of the more uncommon egg replacers that you might see in recipes. And these really start with fruit purees, and I love using fruit in my recipes. My favorite egg replacer of all time is banana. If you think about mashing up a banana and the texture that you get, it is very kind of jelly and gooey, and it really helps to bind ingredients together. And of course, if you like banana like I do, it adds a really nice sweetness and flavor. In addition to banana, you can also use applesauce. I definitely recommend that you guys try unsweetened applesauce just because it will give you kind of less sweetness and it won't overpower the flavor. You can also do other purees including sweet potato, pumpkin, butternut squash. You could use pear butter, and you could also use avocado. I know that last one might seem a little bit odd, but mashed avocado, again, like banana, has that really kind of thick, gooey texture, and it's really amazing in recipes. I've used it to help replace eggs and also fat in a recipe, so oil. And I love pairing it with a strong flavor like chocolate or coffee. So I use avocado puree actually in my vegan brownie recipe. I'll link that in the description box below as well. And as a general rule of thumb, 1 egg is equivalent to a 1/4 cup of fruit puree or sweet potato puree. So if you're doing 2 eggs at a time, you're gonna use 1/2 cup of that mixture. And if you're just doing 1, you're gonna use a 1/4 cup. So I definitely recommend that you guys measure it out rather than just saying, okay, I'm gonna add 1 banana to this recipe. You really wanna measure out a 1/4 cup of banana per egg, and that will just help you retain the same amount of moisture, and it will help you get the best yield and texture with your baked good. And that pretty much does it, my friends. Replacing eggs can be tricky, but it also isn't as difficult as it may sound. I want you to go check out the blog post that I mentioned in the beginning of the video because I've detailed specific recipes that you can try to replace your eggs. And I would recommend that you first follow a recipe that has been designed to be vegan, because that way you're kind of getting used to using the egg replacers. And then as you get more comfortable with vegan baking, you can start to replace non-traditional vegan recipes, so recipes that call for eggs. You can try using an egg replacer to replace those eggs. So with each different egg replacer, I've indicated different recipes that you can try, and hopefully this will serve as a guide to kind of help you get more comfortable with vegan baking. Of course, I've also included all of the Bob's Red Mill products that I talked about in today's video in the description box below. I highly recommend that you guys pick up your products from there. They have the best quality. They are just an amazing company. I have partnered with them for the past 4 years, and if that says anything, that is a testament to how much I love them. They are absolutely amazing. They're so fun to work with, and I fully stand behind their products. Other than that, I just want to open it up and invite you guys to ask me any questions that you have about vegan baking. I am by no means an expert. I have done my fair share of vegan baking and I have had my fair share of fails, but I am happy to answer any questions that you might have. You can pop them in the comment box below and I will make sure to respond. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel already, I would love for you to join us here on YouTube. We have a growing, amazing community of people that love food and are also trying to eat healthy and be mindful of what they put in their body. So come on and join the family. There's a red button right below this video that says subscribe. So tap that red subscribe button that is right below this video and that will automatically subscribe you. Other than that, I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys!